You think you know betrayal. What if you found out your spouse had an affair and was secretly pregnant with their affair partner's baby? I'm sharing the raw, unbelievable moment I exposed this shocking truth at our divorce hearing, forcing us all to confront the devastating aftermath of infidelity and a secret that changed everything. 9 years. That's how long I thought we had it figured out. Jessica and I weren't perfect, no couple is, but we had something solid, a beautiful house in the suburbs. Careers we'd built together, plans for kids we kept putting off for the right time. Looking back now, I can see the signs. They were subtle at first, easy to dismiss when you're living inside the story instead of reading it from the outside. It started about 8 months before everything imploded. Jessica became distant. Not in an obvious way. She still kissed me goodbye in the mornings, still asked about my day. But there was a hollowness to it, like she was going through the motions while her mind was somewhere else entirely. The late nights at the office increased. "Big project," she'd say, texting me around 9 p.m. that she'd grab dinner out. Her phone became an extension of her hand, angled away from me whenever a notification appeared. She started working out more, buying new clothes, wearing perfume on random Tuesday mornings. Classic signs, right? But when you love someone, when you've built a life with them, your brain does backflips to explain away the obvious. She's stressed. She's finding herself. She's going through something and needs space. The gut knows, though, that primal instinct that screams danger even when your conscious mind is still making excuses. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. with my heart racing, staring at the ceiling, knowing something fundamental had shifted but too terrified to dig deeper. Then came the moment that ended the denial. I wasn't snooping, or maybe I was, I don't know anymore. Her laptop was open on the kitchen counter, logged into her email. A message notification popped up, from him, from Daniel, her colleague from the Boston office. "Last night was incredible. I'm still thinking about you. When can we do it again?" The world tilted. My hands went numb. I clicked into the thread and found months of correspondence. Intimate details, plans, hotel receipts, photos I never should have seen. Everything I thought I knew disintegrated in the space between one breath and the next. I confronted her that night. She came home at 7, her face flushed from what she'd claimed was a gym session. I was sitting at the kitchen table with printed copies of the emails spread out like evidence in a murder trial. She froze in the doorway. No words, just that look, the one where someone's entire defense system crashes because they know they're caught. The denials came first. "It's not what you think. We're just friends who got too close. Nothing physical happened." All lies that crumbled within minutes when I read specific passages back to her. Then came the tears, the apologies, the desperate bargaining. "It meant nothing. He means nothing. It's you I love. We can fix this." But you can't unring that bell. You can't unknow what you know. I moved out that week, filed for divorce 2 weeks later. The process was supposed to be straightforward. No kids, we'd split assets 50-50, go our separate ways. Clean break from a broken thing. Then 6 weeks into the separation, I got a call from Jessica's sister, Amanda. We'd always been close, and her voice on the phone was shaking. "There's something you need to know," she said. "Jessica made me promise not to tell you, but I can't. I can't keep this from you." Jessica was pregnant, 12 weeks along. The timeline clicked into place with sickening clarity. This wasn't my child. It couldn't be. We hadn't been intimate in months before I'd left. This was Daniel's baby, conceived during one of those late nights at the office or weekend work conferences. Amanda was crying. "She's planning to tell the court it's yours. She's going to try to use it to delay the divorce, maybe get more in the settlement. I couldn't let her do that to you." I sat in my empty apartment, phone pressed to my ear, feeling like I'd been hollowed out. The affair was one betrayal. But this was something else entirely. This was calculated deception on a level I couldn't comprehend. And I had a choice to make. Stay silent and let her narrative play out, or expose the truth in the most public, permanent way possible. The divorce hearing was scheduled for a Thursday morning in early November. I arrived early with my lawyer, Tom, who I'd briefed on everything. He'd advised caution. Let her attorney bring it up first, then we counter with the timeline and paternity questions. But I needed more than legal strategy. I needed the truth to be undeniable. Jessica arrived 20 minutes later with her attorney, a shark named Patricia Chen who'd built a career on aggressive divorce tactics. Jessica looked tired, her face fuller, dressed in a loose blazer that concealed her growing belly. She wouldn't meet my eyes. The hearing began with standard proceedings: asset division, debt allocation. The judge, a stern woman named Barbara Hendricks, worked through the paperwork with methodical precision. Then Patricia stood up. "Your Honor, there's a significant development that impacts these proceedings. My client is 14 weeks pregnant. We're requesting a continuance to reassess the settlement given this new circumstance and the needs of the unborn child." The calculated play. Position it as if the pregnancy changed everything, implied it was mine without stating it directly, banking on my silence and the assumption that I'd want to protect her privacy. Tom glanced at me. I nodded. He stood. "Your Honor, if I may address this directly. The pregnancy, while certainly significant, has no bearing on these proceedings. My client and Mrs. Williams had not been intimate for over 5 months prior to their separation. The timeline makes it biologically impossible for my client to be the father." The courtroom went silent, Jessica's face drained of color. Patricia turned to her client with barely concealed fury. She'd been blindsided by her own client's lie. But I wasn't done. I couldn't be, because silence felt like complicity. "Your Honor," I said, standing before Tom could stop me, "I have evidence that my wife's pregnancy is the result of an ongoing affair with a colleague. I'm willing to submit correspondence and testimony that establishes both the affair and the timeline that proves this child cannot be mine. I want it on record that any attempt to claim otherwise is fraud." Jessica started crying, not the pretty, sympathetic kind. The ugly, desperate kind that comes when you've been publicly exposed and there's nowhere left to hide. Patricia was whispering urgently to her, probably advising her to stay silent. Judge Hendricks looked at Jessica over her glasses. "Mrs. Williams, is this accurate?" The pause stretched forever, then barely audible. "Yes." The legal implications were immediate. The judge denied the continuance and accelerated our divorce timeline. Any claim Jessica might have made about needing support for our child evaporated. The settlement remained 50-50, and I walked away legally free within 3 months. But the personal toll, that's harder to quantify. The story spread. These things always do. Jessica's affair, the pregnancy, the courtroom revelation. Our small town thrived on gossip, and this was premium material. I became either a hero who'd stood up for himself or a vindictive ex who'd humiliated a pregnant woman, depending on who you asked. Our mutual friends fractured along fault lines. Some reached out with support. Others ghosted me, either uncomfortable with the drama or convinced I'd been cruel to expose her so publicly. Jessica's family stopped speaking to me entirely, which hurt more than I'd expected. They'd been my family, too, for nearly a decade. Jessica moved to Boston shortly after the divorce finalized. To be with Daniel, I assumed, though I never confirmed it. I deleted her from every platform, blocked her number, and committed to the clean break I should have demanded from the start. A year and a half later, I'm still processing it all. Therapy helps. So does time. So does the conscious choice to build a life defined by who I'm becoming rather than what was done to me. I don't regret the courtroom reveal. Some people think I should have stayed quiet, handled it privately. But that pregnancy, that lie she was prepared to use against me, would have haunted every legal document, every future interaction. The truth needed to be established, and it needed witnesses. Do I think about the child sometimes? Yes. An innocent kid born from all this mess. I hope Jessica and Daniel give that baby a better foundation than the one that created it. I've learned that betrayal isn't just about what's taken from you, it's about what you refuse to let it take. My trust was shattered, but I'm rebuilding it carefully, selectively, with people who have earned it. My peace was stolen, but I'm reclaiming it day by day. The affair was her choice. The pregnancy was her consequence. The public reveal was mine, and I'd make the same choice again.